Like I give you the example, like you have an employee program, but these employees are categorized as manager, scientist, or whatever, deputy manager, engineer, like that. But all of them must be paying an income tax. Yes or no? Yes or no, students?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
So the calculation of that income tax function should be common to everyone, though it is with respect to their salaries, but the basic calculation whatever you have for calculating the income tax amount for each of this category will be the similar one. So instead of writing income tax function separately for manager, separately for engineer, separately for scientist, I will write it only once and I will make it as a friend function. Okay, is this okay now?
Yes, ma'am.
Now just see this program. Let me finish with this and then you can check it. Now in this program, what I am doing, see, I wanted to do the addition of two complex numbers. So complex number will be always in the form x plus yi, right? So that's why I will first the input which I am giving, that should be in this format x plus yi. Now when I have to do the addition, in that case also what I need to do, that real part should get added separately, imaginary part should get added separately. And to do the sum of that, I am using this friend complex sum function. I am using this sum function. I wanted to make this sum function as the friend function, so I have written the keyword friend. Now I want the return type of this function should be of a class type. सम का जो रिटर्न टाइप है दैट आई वांटेड टू बी ऑफ क्लास टाइप, दैट्स व्हाई इसका रिटर्न टाइप मैंने क्या लिखा है, कॉम्प्लेक्स लिखा है. कैन यू सी? And I told you friend function always take objects as an argument. So object will be of your class type. So since to do the addition of these two real and imaginary parts, I have taken two complex. I am passing two complex objects. Then to display the output again, I am using a show method to which I am passing an object of a class. Okay. Now complex. Now what you will be doing in this sum function? So comma now this program is similar as we have done today, that time ka program for batch 1. So batch 1 students, you will be able to understand this. Now what I wanted to do, I wanted to do the addition of two complex numbers. So C3 जो थर्ड कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर मिलेगा इसका एडिशन के बाद, जो फर्स्ट टू कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर है उसका एडिशन के बाद जो थर्ड नंबर मिलेगा कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर, दैट वी आर रिप्रेजेंटिंग इट एज C3. So C3 dot x will be equal to what? Dot x plus C2 dot x. And C3 dot y is equal to y plus C2 returning this C3. So what I am returning? I am returning an object. Yes students?
Yes, ma'am.
Show method. Now show is a method of your class, right? So for that I have to write the class name. So complex show, and since I am passing object as an argument, so here also I have to pass one object. Next number I will be writing C out, but I wanted to display C dot x. C dot x, and then what you need to do, plus Either you can write whichever symbol you wanted to, yi, yj, जो भी तुम्हें लिखना है वो x plus yi और x plus yj. Suppose I am using I. Plus I dot y. And this will display your complex number cx c dot x plus yi. So y, how you are getting yi? With c dot y. Now in main, create 3 objects of your class complex that you call each one of the method a dot input suppose 5.65 dot input is equal to what? What you will be doing? You will be doing C is equal to third object. So C is equal to sum of A now we wanted to display the output, so we will write C out. What is the value of A? What we will do? Same way we will write equal to and for C also we will write just listen what is happening in this program. Okay. Finally we will have a return 0 statement. Return 0 to your main function. See, when you start your execution, what will happen? First of all, it will create 3 objects of your class, that is A, B and C. Now what happens? After creating these objects, what you are doing? You are with this first object, you are calling input method. So it will go inside the class and it will check for this input method. Now what this input method is doing? This input method is taking 2 arguments. One is of type real and the another one is of type imaginary. So here, whatever the values you have passed, that is 3.1 and 5.65, will be given to these 2 variables, right? And that will be assigned to your x and y. Okay. So this assignment will be done after execution of this first line. I hope this is clear to everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, so now you what will be the value of x? X will be 3.1 and y will be 5.65. Okay. So after executing this, your x will be 3.1, y will be 5.65. After that, you are calling b dot input. So b dot input, again we'll call this input method because b is also an object of your class complex. So now real will take the value 2.50 and image will take the value 1.25, which will be assigned to your x and y respectively. Okay, so now the value of x will be 2.50 and y will be 1.25. Now after that, what you have written? You have written c is equal to sum of a comma b. So it will check where is this sum function. C is also an object, but what it is doing, it is calling your sum function, which is a friend function. So your sum function will get called, which is a friend function. Now what this friend function is doing, it is taking two arguments of the class type. That is two objects as an argument it is taking. What are the two objects it is taking? A and B. These are the two objects. So A में x y का value क्या है? It will take that value. B में x y का value क्या है? It will take that value. Okay. Now where it will come inside it, what will happen? Now it is creating third object C3. So how this C3 of x is calculated? C3 of x is calculated as C1 dot x. अभी C1 मतलब कौन सा? जो first object है. C1 is with your object A. C1 means your object A. So when you have created this object A, what was the value of x? Yes, student. When you have created object A, what was the value of x?
Was it 3.1?
Yes, what it will be?
3.1.
Yes, it is 3.1. When you are creating first object, the value of it is 3.1. And when you are creating the value of x is 3.1. So what it is doing? C3 dot x is writing C1 is equal to C1 dot x. So C1 dot x will take this value 3.1, right? Then it is calling C2 dot x. What is your C2? C2 is associated with your second object. What is your second object? Second object is your B. So when you have created this object B, what was the value of x?
2.5.
Yes, 2.50. So that is 2.5. So it will do C3 dot x will do 3.1 plus 2.5. Okay. And then similarly, what it will happen? It will do it for y also, because we have two parts of the expression, that is x plus y form. So for y, what it will do now? C1 dot y plus C2 dot y. So C1 dot y, what is the value? 5.65. C2 dot y will take the value 1.25. So the addition of that two will also happen. And then whatever the answer you will get, that will be written as your object C3. That will be written as what? Your object C3. Okay. So your answer will also be in the form of x plus yi. Yes or no? See, like for example, now I am commenting these two statements, and suppose we are just printing the value of A. We wanted to show how it is printing the value of A. So if I will execute this, okay, so what it is showing, it is for this one, it is giving this right, A is equal to A dot show A, that way we will write. Now if I execute it, can you see the value of A as 3.1 plus 5.65 I 5.65. Yes, students, see, if I am passing only this input, I am not now suppose I am not talking about all these things. I just wanted to see how it is printing the complex number. So what I have passed to A, I have passed the input as 3.1 comma 5.65, and I want that to be printed in the complex number format. So is it getting printed in the complex number format?
Yes, ma'am.
So all of you, have you understood this, how it is getting printed?
Yes, ma'am.
Similarly, now we will similarly now we have to do it for B. So जैसे A का अभी आया 3.1 plus 5.65i. Similarly, I wanted to print the value of B. So for B also I will do the same thing. C out. I will write B is equal to and I will print that value. What we will do, we will give first. And then we wanted to display we are not supposed to give slash n over here. Now if I run this, I can see that I am getting A is equal to 3.1 plus I 5.65, B is equal to 2.5 plus I 1.25, and when I will do the addition I am getting C is equal to 5.6 plus I 6.9. So that means in this program, what is being done in this program? See, here I am not only passing object as an argument, but I am returning that object to a particular function also. What it is saying? This is how you are returning an object to a function. अभी ये sum का return type क्या है? Complex है. तो इसके लिए I should return an object which is also of type complex. तो complex is your class name. तो उसका variable क्या रहेगा? Even if you create a variable of complex, it will be of type object. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So just copy this program.
Slow motion or watch spiders.
What happened, Kev? Are you saying something?
No, ma'am.
So everyone clear with this? Shall we move to the next program?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, wait a minute.
Ma'am, can you scroll up?
Where up? Scroll down.
Scroll down.
Oh, no, you're still wired in?
Done, students?
Done.
Now we are moving to the new topic, that is constructors and destructors. Now this is the new topic that you have in C++, which you have not yet learned in C, or you have not heard, you might have not heard in programming. Constructor is a new concept added in C programming constructs or C kind of structures. There are advantages you have with this constructor. So what it is and how we will be using it, that we will see it in this chapter. We will be discussing about how to create or how to write these constructors, how to construct the objects, then constructor overloading, what are the different types of constructors we have, that we will see. Then what is the default constructor we have, and what are the types of destructors we have. What is destructor and what are the different types. Means how you will create the destructor, that we will see. Okay. Now for now we have seen a good amount of class examples. I hope all of you are now understood how to write a class. Yes, students? Have you understood how to create a class or how to write a class program?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So once you have understood that, how to implement the class, now in all that classes, we have seen that always we have a public and private section in the class. Yes?
Yes.
And in that public and private section, forget about private section, because there normally we write only the variable declaration. But in the public section, always we have that put data or get data or set data, these methods. In most of the programs, whatever we have done, we have also used a similar kind of methods, or you have used show data method. Means either we are writing one method for getting the data from the user or giving some values to that, giving some value to your program, and one method to display it in the public section. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. See, like here also we have this input method. Why we have written this input method? Because we wanted to assign some values to this real and imaginary. Like that, whatever the classes we have seen till now, in that classes we have taken get data method to ask the user to enter a value, enter some values, and then assign that values to a variable. Okay, so these are called as like your getters and setter methods, which we are not using getter setter inbuilt functions, but these are similar like your getter and setter method. And every time whenever we are writing this member function, it is necessary if it is required in your program. It is necessary to write in your class if it is required in your program, right? Because what it is doing, it provides the initial values to your private member variables. Yes or no? X and Y are what? Your private member variables. So to assign some initial value to it, you require these methods. Okay? And then every time, whenever you wanted to call them, you will be calling with them with some object. Like here also you are writing a dot input. So a dot input, when you are writing, input is your member function, but you are calling it with the object and you are passing some values. So to pass these values to this function, what you are writing, what you are doing, you are writing this getter or setter method. Okay. So every time, whenever you wanted to write a program of this kind, you always need to define a function first, assign some values to your private variables or whatever the variables you have, and then what you need to do, you need to call that function. This is always required in your program. Yes or no? Yes or no, students?
Yes, ma'am.
हम लोग हमेशा क्या कर रहे हैं, ये इनपुट मेथड पहले क्रिएट कर रहे हैं एंड देन यूजिंग एन ऑब्जेक्ट यू आर कॉलिंग दैट मेथड. सो दिस इज नेसेसरी. अंटिल एंड अनलेस यू विल नॉट कॉल दिस मेथड, विल इट गेट एग्जीक्यूटेड? ये इनपुट फंक्शन में एग्जीक्यूट होगा क्या?
No, it will not
No.
exist.
No. So that means these lines of codes are also important, and at the same time, if you have written this, this line of code is also an important. Until and unless you will not write this statement, these statements will not get executed, right? So what I wanted to do when I am writing object-oriented programs, I wanted to make my classes or make my programs much more simpler. Okay, so C++ provides us a special kind of member function which is called as a constructor. What this constructor does, this constructor will automatically enable, or this constructor actually enables an object to initialize itself when it is created. Means actually क्या होता है, हम लोग first object create करते हैं, फिर object के साथ with the use of object and dot operator we are calling that member function so that values will get initialized to your variables. Your variables will get initialized with that value. Your variables will get initialized with that values. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
So instead of doing it like this, what I will do, I will create a special member function which is called as constructor, which will enable an object to initialize itself when it is created. Matlab, I will have a special member function which will get initialized automatically when my object gets created. So that means I don't have to write this separately. A dot input करके ये ऐसा लिखना नहीं पड़ेगा. The moment I create the object, it will automatically get initialized. That member function will get called, and that special member function is what called as your constructor. And this is what called as your automatic initialization of object. So we will see how to create this special member function or how to create this constructor. So we will see one program so that it will be easier for you to understand. There are certain characteristics you have about this constructor. According to theory point of view, these characteristics are very important. Now suppose we have I will just write the program first and then I'll explain you.
खवाते खाने को हाँ जल्दी थोड़ा जल्दी A B C D E F
Okay, now see here everyone. Now, what is the special member function? In C++, we have a special member function which is called as a constructor. How this special member function can be created? It is like your normal function only. जैसे हम लोग normal function लिखते हैं वैसे ही है. But why it is called a special member function? Because its name is same as your class name. Whenever you have any function name same as your class name, that is called as your constructor. Please remember this. Whenever you have a function name same as your class name, it will be called as your constructor of the class. Yes, students?
Yes, ma'am.
And they should be always declared in the public section. What your constructor, where your constructor should be declared, they should be always declared in the public section. Now, since they have the same name as class name, that's why they are called as special member function. Okay. Now, what is their job? Their job is just to initialize the variables or just to initialize the objects of the class. Okay. So, what it is doing? See here now in this program now we have written a declaration, but actually constructors का declaration लिखने का कोई जरूरत नहीं रहता है. So here I have class integer in which I have two variables m and n. अगर मैंने ये 2 वेरिएबल्स इंटीजर डिक्लेयर किया है तो समवेयर आई नीड टू इनिशियलाइज देम, राइट? So for that, what I am doing, I am writing this function. This is a constructor declaration. Now why this is a constructor? Because it is having the same name as your class name and taking 2 arguments of integer type. So this is constructor declaration. Normally there is no need to write the constructor declaration. Directly you can write the constructor body. And this is a normal display method to display the values of m and n. Now since here constructor is only declared, so if you wanted to write the constructor outside the class constructor body, so again it is same like your function. First you should write the class name followed by the scope resolution operator, and then again your function name. So function name is your what? Class name only, integer, and then 2 integer parameters, so int x and int y. So why these constructors are used? Constructors are used only to initialize your variables. So which variables you wanted to initialize? M and n. So m and n will get initialized to x and y. Sorry, x and y will get initialized with n. M and n will get initialized with x and y. Okay. Now what happens? See, now here what I am doing, I am directly I can write integer int 1. Integer int 1 दिखा तो वो क्या होगा, मेरा ऑब्जेक्ट हो जाएगा. बट यहाँ पे मैंने क्या किया, द मोमेंट आई क्रिएटेड द ऑब्जेक्ट आई हैव पास वैल्यू ऑल्सो टू इट. So I have created integer int 1 with 0, 100. So what will happen? This int 1 will automatically call this constructor. Are you getting? The moment this integer 1, this object gets when you will create this object, automatically this constructor will get invoked, and whatever the values you have passed, that will be assigned to your variables m and n. So that's why when you will do int 1 dot display, it will display this value. Like suppose for example, now if I am doing this, run the program, can you see it is taking n ka value as 0 and n ka value as 100? Yes students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what is actually happening? The constructors are invoked the moment you will create your first object of the class. Please remember this property. Constructors are invoked the moment you will create first object of the of your class. And when we create the first object of the class inside the main, our first job is what? To create the object of the class. तो हम लोग जब भी ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट करते हैं ना, ऑटोमेटिकली वो कंस्ट्रक्टर कॉल हो जाएगा. इवन इफ यू आर नॉट रिटन दिस, योर कंस्ट्रक्टर विल गेट इन्वोक्ड. Right? Constructor कौन है? Constructor is a special member function which is having the same name as your class name. So now when I am calling another time, so when I am writing integer int 2, now again the constructor will get invoked with these new values as 25 and 75. So when I will do int 2 dot display, these values will get displayed. So I am getting the values as first m is equal to 0, n is equal to 100. Then again I am getting m is equal to 25 and n is equal to 75. Clear? Understood everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So copy this program. Copy this program and then you can leave. We will stop here for today. Thank you everyone. In the next lecture we will see more about the constructors.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.